Hip hop is gone. I plain and simple. Ain't no coming back from it. The reason why is because what was taken from it is never going to come back. And that is consciousness. Being aware. Having common sense. This is something that was taken from our culture we call hip hop years ago. Critical thinking. Discipline. Order. I could go on with it. There's no infrastructure. What kind of business do you know that's being ran like hip hop and that's continued to be profitable is the question. Really none. That's real talk. But the way things are set up and designed, you know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, hip hop does have an order, infrastructure, etc. It does. It's just nowadays that order and infrastructure, discipline, and all that stuff is used against us. In other words, what I'm saying to you is hip hop is being used as a tool to destroy us. That plain and simple. There's nothing positive about hip hop right about now. Please, if you know, please tell me. Real talk. I remember, I was looking at this video the other day, man. It was, about the 90s or whatever, and hip hop. And there was some dudes with some bow ties and suits on. I'm making a point. Hear me out. They were, behind the stage, backstage at this concert. I forgot what rap it was. It was two known rappers, right? And it was some dudes, clean cut, bow tie, etc., right? And I'm like, oh, shot. You know who we forgot about? That used to be part of our entourage? That used to actually guard and secure the rappers? I'll let you give a bat at it. Straight up. Oh, you don't know? The Fruits of Islam. The Fruits of Islam. So you know all of the rappers that have gotten shot and stabbed and all of that stuff that was at their concerts, that they was where they were supposed to be. Guess what? If the Fruits of Islam were protecting the rappers nowadays, you wouldn't see that. You wouldn't hear about a rapper getting stabbed or shot and killed and stuff like that. Because all of those things, I ain't gonna say all of them, but a vast majority of them would have been prevented. Because the Fruits of Islam, straight up, they have a level of consciousness. They have a level of discipline. They have black love. Something that these off-duty cops and regular ass security, you know what I'm saying, don't really have. In other words, when we were together like that, we were together. Like we hide in the family. And now you don't have that anymore. You always had the Fruits of Islam at these backstage concerts. Straight up. And then where's your man Khalifa or Khalif, whatever that dude name was, that was in Minister Society, that was getting on everybody's nerves because all he talked about was Islam, and helping the black man, and the black man's this and the black man's that. Where was that? Where's that positive person at? Because he's not in the entourage anymore. He's not. It used to be back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Like, this didn't happen all the time. It wasn't a frequent thing, a situation. But you had your mother and your father or someone that was managing you. And most of the times, the people that were managing you were what? They had morals, principles, and values. So they didn't allow the music industry to corrupt you. Where they at? What happened to artist development? That if you were garbage, you didn't have a stage performance, you didn't know how to talk, they taught you how to do all that. Hell, some of these singers, they taught how to sing. But nobody cares about the artist anymore, let alone the consumer that buys the garbage. Buys the artist garbage. It ain't art. They don't care about that. People just care about the money. That's all they care about. That's the only thing that they're focused on is money. It's nothing else. There's no motivation. There's no one's inspired to be great anymore. Everybody's inspired just to put out a certain kind of, just music, period, in order for people to purchase it. That plain and simple. I was listening to the rapper Trippie Dead. Trippie Red or whatever his name is. And he was like, yo, in my generation, when you look at the XXL, you know what I'm saying, the come-ups, most of them are dead. He was like, yo, my generation wrote and made a whole lot of sad rap. Straight up. Oh, I don't feel like living. Oh, the world is this and blah, 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 blah. And I want to just out myself and blah, 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 blah. And look what happened. They didn't make, music about, harming themselves. They made music about harming someone else or another person harming them. You know what I'm saying? And look how many rappers have died. That's another thing that was unheard of in my generation, of so many rappers dying. Nowadays it's like 2 or 3 rappers at least dying per year, which is ridiculous to me. But it's just crazy, man. And this is a side note, man. This is not an attack on my generation, but you young kids out there, man, stop believing that the 90s was this golden era like everybody else, would say. We had horrible rappers too back in the days. That's the first thing. The second thing too is we were just like you all. We didn't respect our elders. We didn't. There was some that did. You know what I'm saying? We had, I'll say, at least some common respect for the elders. But for the most part, in the music industry, specifically rap, man, people were stealing other people's music, and that's just the truth. So they wouldn't have to pay for samples. That's just the truth. Hip hop can't even fully take credit for it being great in the 90s without people such as James Brown, Jill Scott Heron, and the list goes on. Roy Ayers, Donald Byrd, Dizzy Gillespie. The list goes on of how many rappers have sampled old school music. And then had a nerve to turn around and be like, yo, when people complain, when the old artists complain, these new rappers, like in the 90s, were on some shit like, well, yo, your rapper, your album, they was talking about old school rappers now. Your music is sitting on the shelves. We took the music off the shelf and now we turned it into a hit. Nah, not really. People were vibing off the music, more so your lyrics. That plain and simple. So the reason why your album did good is because of the vibe. It was the music. You know what I'm saying? And people remember that type of music. You know what I'm saying? The party music, the love making music. I love my brother. I love my sister music. You know what I'm saying? I love my people. I have pride. You know what I'm saying? They remember that. And this is the reason why Bad Boy was big the way it was. Because that's all P. Diddy did over there was sample. That plain and simple. But yeah, don't have your elders or parents or people that are older than you tell you, oh yeah, the golden hour was this, that, and so forth. Nah, please, we had help. All our music, especially the hits, were all sampled. Straight up. And we didn't start paying our elders until the music label had to come in. And the reason why the music label had to come in is because it's crazy. They owned our old school artists' music. So we had to go through them in order to pay or get what you call the samples cleared. But yeah, man. Yeah, man, it's just a shame. It's a shame what has happened to our culture. You know, and it's no turning back. The only way that our culture can change, so to speak, or get better is if we create a new one. Other than that, hip hop is dead. You know what I'm saying? Been gone a long time ago. And the same thing that they did with rhythm and blues, jazz, reggae, and the likes, as far as the genres of music we create, they're doing the same thing that they did with those genres, and the same thing that they're doing with hip-hop. They're gonna oversaturate it. They're gonna have everyone and their mama doing hip-hop. They don't have no business doing it. And they're gonna tear that damn culture down to the ground until you can't make any more money off of it. And then while you're in the midst of the end of hip-hop, right? When you're making your last couple of dollars in hip-hop, guess what? I'm just gonna be real. Us people, FOOLS, are gonna create a whole new culture for you to turn around and do the same thing all over again to us. That plain and simple. That's how this shit works. And if you don't believe me, live to be my age and you'll say the exact same damn thing. That plain and simple. And sometimes, man, I just be shaking my head. Because here we are living in modernized society, you know what I'm saying, where we're at, you know, the peak of our, I don't know, of being on, you know, of experiencing human life. Well, I ain't gonna say the peak of it, but you know, you get what I'm saying, like society-wise. And we're doing it worse. I'm talking about as human beings. We got cars that nowadays basically can drive themselves. We have cell phones where we can real FaceTime someone and talk to someone like in real time. You know, the list goes on of the gadgets and the things that we have in life that is a convenience to us. It makes our lives easier. How in the hell did we manage to treat ourselves worse every year? How do we manage to mistreat humans and not develop more compassion, more concern, more care, more love for people? I don't understand that. I just don't. And I remember, and I'm about to end it, I'm done. I remember when I first started getting involved in it, you know, transhumanism and technological singularity and automation AI and how, AI is gonna eventually take over and stuff like that. I was like, man, how? Who's gonna bridge in the gap? And it's like, man, human beings are acting like robots nowadays, man. We don't have no emotions, no feelings towards one another. We're straight robotic with any and everything we do. And it's like, man, you know what? It ain't far-fetched. It's just not. We're continually, every year we lose a certain percentage of humanity. And that's crazy. We slowly but surely falling into being like a ghost in a shell. Straight up.